There was a previous video of mine that I talked about my flaws. I'm going to link it up here. You can actually go watch it. And there I talked about one of my flaws being me having anger issues and having difficulties managing my anger. And really that is true, right? Yes, I've come far. I've come a long way. I'm doing very good when it comes to anger. But sometimes I'm triggered, right? And when I'm triggered and I don't know how to handle it, I see myself going back to the original Uju, doing what I know how to do best, which is lashing out. But when I came across these 4 steps of learning how to manage your anger when triggered, it really has been a blessing for me, because I practiced the 4 of them, and before you know it, I'm able to handle that situation so effectively that I would actually tap myself at the back and say, Uju, you've made me proud. So guys, stick around. Let's discuss this when we come back. So today we are talking about how one can manage his or her anger when triggered, especially for people like me that, have a little bit of anger issues here and there. Like I said earlier, I had a video that I did with a friend of mine and we talked about our flaws. And I did mention that one of my flaws is difficulty managing anger. Most times when I feel different emotions, as against appropriating the right reaction to the emotion, I go to anger because anger is easier for me. So for instance, I feel embarrassed or I feel neglected. As against me saying, you just embarrassed me by doing this, I will go to anger because that comes more natural and easier for me, right? And it's something that after I had expressed my anger in a very bad way, of course, I would go home regretting it. I didn't want to be like that, right? So as I was researching one day, I saw these 4 steps to managing one's anger, especially when triggered. And I'm like, okay, this makes a lot of sense. And I started reading and I'm like, whoa, it was as if the writer was just talking to me. And I said to myself, I'm going to make conscious effort to apply these 4 steps and see, if it makes sense. And guys, it actually works. I've been practicing this and it has helped me a great deal. And that's why I'm bringing it here. Right? So it's called STOP, as S-T-O-P, yeah? It's called the STOP ways of managing anger, right? So the S stands for stop, which is just calm down, just stop. So somebody's provoking you, something is just making you angry, stop. Just stop. Just stay in that moment. Don't say a word. If the way you express your anger is through your mouth, like me, don't say a word, just stop. Or just pause. You could even call it pause. Pause for a minute. Take a deep breath. You see that 20 seconds, 10 seconds, it does a whole lot. I can remember my sister telling me that anytime I have arguments with someone, I should put water in my mouth. And I should not swallow that water until I'm calm. That I do as well. So when I'm being triggered and I'm having this heated argument with someone and I'm getting there, I'll just put water in my mouth and I won't say a word and I won't drink that water. I can only drink that water when I feel I'm calm enough. So that is the essence of the S, which is stop, right? That's what it stands for. And then the T is think. So while you just stopped or while you just paused, think about what you're gonna do. Because people like me that have anger issues, we don't even think. The anger falls on us and boom, we explode. We're not even thinking of what we're doing. We just explode. But what this teaches you to do is to think. As you've stopped, as you've paused, think of what you're gonna do. I bet you when you put some thoughts or some thinking into what you would do next, you would see that it won't come out as angry, annoying, provoking as it would have if you didn't do this. So most times, take a deep breath, pause, and then think. Articulate your thoughts. Make sure what you're saying is a solution, will I say, expression, as against a triggered word that don't hold water and won't create any change. Because when you're angry, most times you just want to talk and be heard and express that you're angry. But when you think, whatever you're saying could change or de-escalate the situation. and teach the person you're communicating to or with what they should or shouldn't do, as against talking from a place of anger, right? And then the O, observe. You know, most times when you're angry, you don't even know the people around you. You don't even know what you're doing. That's why sometimes you see on Instagram, people are fighting. They will record that thing. Some people around will record that thing. And when they post it, I'm sure when those people watch themselves, they'll be like, oh my God, oh boy, I just embarrassed myself. Because you didn't even observe your surroundings. So observe the situation. Remember, when you're able to pause, when you're able to think of what you should or shouldn't do, that would give you space to even observe and see that maybe that thing that triggered you was not even worth it. Maybe you were being too sensitive and that's why you would have reacted if you allowed yourself to react. But when you observe and see the person's body language, you might even understand the person was also just joking, or that it wasn't even that serious as you thought it was earlier, right? So sit in a moment, pause, think, and observe. And then the last one is, I'd already mentioned it a little bit, but I'll say it again. Take a deep breath, pause. Pause. You're not in a hurry to exchange, right? You're not in a hurry to talk. It's not a rap competition or a running competition of who runs faster or who will talk faster. You're not competing. You might even take, like I know my friend that when you provoke her, you might take her 2 weeks before she will come back to you. She might not pick your calls for 2 weeks. When you call her, she will decline and say, please, can I call you back? She's that irritated that she knows if she picks up that phone and hears your voice, what she will say, you might not forgive her in a hurry. So she wants to calm herself down. Yes, it might take her. The pause, does not mean you just pause for 2 seconds. So it might take you a month. Pause. It's okay. Take your time. Talk only when you're calm so that you can communicate as against shouting. Okay? So guys, these are my 4 steps or ways to manage anger when you're triggered. Tell me, comment below and tell me if you have other ways you've dealt with your anger issues, or ways that people could, use and help them deal with their anger issues. If you still have anger issues and you are trying to deal with them, kindly watch this. I bet you it will help you because it's helped me, right? Regardless, remember that we all are broken. No one is perfect, right? We are all learning and trying to unlearn, learn, and relearn and be better people. So I'm always here to give us positive nuggets, hoping that we all will grow together and be better people in future. That is the essence of this space. Okay? So remember, guys, to always hang in there, for the very best is next. Love you. Ciao. Mwah.